So, good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about elements of pneumatic circuit. So, basically, they are called as fluid power systems. So, we have three types of systems, namely hydraulic systems, pneumatic systems, and hydro pneumatic systems. So here a fluid is very, very essential for operating a system. So that is called as a working substance. Now, if oil is used for operating a system, it is called as a hydraulic system. And if compressed air is used for operating a system, it is referred to as a pneumatic system. And sometimes both these fluids are used for operating the system. And if that is the case, it is referred to as a hydro pneumatic system. Also, it is referred to as a combination system. So, friends, fluid power systems are classified into three different categories, namely hydraulic, pneumatic, and hydro pneumatic systems. So, as I've already told you, the working substance is very, very, important. So, used for operating the system. So, depending upon the, type of working substance. So, these systems they are classified into three categories, namely hydraulic system, pneumatic system, and hydro pneumatic system. So, friends, now today we are going to note down the various elements of a pneumatic system, can be also called as a pneumatic circuit. So friends, here we can see the arrangement of a pneumatic circuit. So can be also called as a pneumatic system. Now here we find a cylinder that is placed in vertical position. So this is called as a pneumatic cylinder. So this is the most important component of the pneumatic circuit, and a piston is arranged inside the cylinder, and that is fitted to a piston rod, and this piston rod can be, fitted to a tool of a machine, or it can be fitted to the, loading platform as shown in the figure. And sometimes by means of connecting rod mechanism, so this piston can be used for operating the spindle of a machine. So generally cylinders are arranged either in vertical position are mostly they are arranged in horizontal position. So this by making this arrangement the of piston and the piston rod, so this cylinder can be ultimately used for operating a tool of a machine, or it can be used for operating a spindle of a machine, and or as shown in the figure, it can be also used for moving loads in upward and downward direction. So friends, these cylinders, they are placed depending upon the specification and requirements. So these cylinders are placed either in horizontal position or in vertical position. And by making this arrangement, these cylinders can be used for operating the tools of machines. They can be used for rotating the spindles of the machines. And finally, as shown in the figure, they can be also used for moving loads in upward and downward direction. So this is the main purpose of using this cylinder. So it is called as a pneumatic cylinder. It can be called as an air cylinder, and also it is referred to as air actuator. So ultimately, this is used for actuating the tool or a spindle of a machine, or for moving the load in upward and downward direction. So therefore, these cylinders are also referred to as actuators. Now, as I've already told you in the beginning, compressed air is used for operating a pneumatic system or a pneumatic circuit. So therefore, this actuator, it is referred to as air cylinder. So this is the most important component of a pneumatic circuit. And finally, we can see the arrangement of a compressor that is driven by a motor. So here the shaft of the compressor is connected to the shaft of the motor. So by means of coupling or by means of a suitable mechanism, the shaft of the compressor will be connected to the shaft of the motor. So therefore, motor in the sense it is electric motor. So therefore, if you switch on the electric motor, the motor will be coming into action, and therefore the shaft of the motor will begin to rotate in a given direction. So therefore the shaft of the compressor will be also begin to rotate in the same direction, and finally the compressor will be coming into action. So therefore, if you switch on the motor, initially the motor will be converting electrical energy into mechanical energy of the shaft, and finally the compressor will be converting mechanical energy of the shaft into pressure energy of air. That means it will be raising the pressure energy of air. It is called as high pressure air, or it can be also referred to as a compressed air. Now this high pressure air that is developed by the compressor, it is ultimately used for operating the piston that is arranged inside the cylinder. So friends, these are the main components of a pneumatic circuit. So here motor is used for driving the compressor, and compressor is used for generating high pressure air, and high pressure air is used for operating the piston that is arranged inside the cylinder. And finally, the piston or the cylinder, finally, it is used for operating the tool or a spindle of the machine. Or as shown in the figure, it can be used for moving loads in upward and downward direction. So friends, they are called as primary, all these items are called as primary components of pneumatic circuit. So the electric motor, the air compressor, and air cylinder. So all these, items put together, they are referred to as primary components of a pneumatic circuit. Now, secondly, now here we can see a filter that is arranged before the air compressor. So compressor will be drawing air from the atmosphere, and of course it will be raising the pressure energy of air for operating the piston that is arranged inside the cylinder. Now, therefore, the air which is delivered into the compressor must be free of impurities. Otherwise, it will be damaging these impurities will be damaging the parts of the compressor. So therefore, an air filter is placed before the compressor. So this filter, it will be removing, impurities present in the atmosphere or in the air. And finally, the air that is entering the compressor will be totally, it will be free of impurities. So friends, this is the purpose of providing a filter before the, compressor. So before entering the compressor, the air is totally filtered by means of this element. So this element will be totally, it will be removing the impurities present in the air. So therefore, the air that is entering the compressor will be totally free of impurities. And secondly, we can see the arrangement of a cooler that is placed after the air compressor. So it can be called as air cooler, or it is also referred to as after cooler. Now the compressor will be raising the pressure energy of air. So therefore, by raising the pressure energy of air, the temperature of air will be also getting increased. So therefore, we have to make arrangements for reducing the temperature of air, or we have to make arrangements for cooling air or reducing the temperature of air that is coming out of the compressor. So therefore, a cooler is placed after the compressor. So this is the, main purpose of this element that is called as air cooler. So a filter is placed before the compressor for removing impurities, and this cooler is placed after the compressor for reducing the temperature of high pressure air that is coming out of the compressor. And friends, we can see the arrangement of a reservoir. So that is, as the name itself implies, it's called as a storage reservoir. So as the name itself implies, it is used for storing the, high pressure air that is coming out of the compressor. So that this high pressure air can be utilized for operating the piston that is arranged inside the cylinder. So that means we have to make arrangements for storing the entire quantity of high pressure air that is coming out of the compressor. So a metallic tank is placed in this position for storing air, for storing high pressure air. So therefore, it is referred to as a storage reservoir, and it is used for storing air, high pressure air coming out of the compressor. Therefore, it can be also called as an air reservoir. So friends, it's providing an air reservoir, it's very, very, essential for operating the system or for operating the cylinder, or in other words, for operating the piston that is arranged inside the cylinder. So friends, these elements are to be placed in this particular order. So filter to be placed before the compressor, cooler to be placed after the compressor, and ultimately reservoir has to be placed after the air cooler. So this is the arrangement of a compressor that is generally used for operating pneumatic systems or pneumatic circuits. And finally, friends, we can see an element that is called as FRL unit. So F for filter, R for regulator, and L for lubricator. Now, as the name itself implies, this is the second filter we are placing. We have already placed a filter before the compressor. Similarly, another filter is placed after the compressor for sending pure air into the cylinder of the circuit. So this filter, first filter, is used for filtering the air that is entering the compressor. And second filter, it is used for filtering air which is entering the air cylinder. So these are the items to be arranged in the pneumatic circuit. And the second one, which is called as a regulator. Now, as the name itself implies, this regulator is used for regulating the pressure of the fluid that is flowing in the system. Now, if the pressure of the fluid is within the limits, it will be sending fluid into the cylinder. And if the pressure is exceeding normal limits, the excess pressure is let off into the atmosphere. So we have to make arrangements for regulating the pressure of the fluid that is entering the cylinder. So therefore, we have to provide this second element that is, called as a regulator. So it is used for regulating the pressure of the fluid. So therefore, generally it is referred to as a pressure regulator. So friends, this is the second element to be placed in this FRL unit. So filter is the first element and regulator is the second element. Lubricator is the last element. So these elements are to be placed in this particular sequence. So therefore, it is referred to as FRL unit. So friends, F for filter, R for regulator, and finally L for lubricator. Now, as the name itself implies, this last element, namely lubricator, is used for mixing air and lubricating oil before it is sent into the cylinder. So friends, lubrication is very, very essential for moving the piston inside the cylinder. So otherwise a lot of heat will be developed inside the cylinder. So we have to make arrangements for providing lubrication in between the piston and the cylinder. So air is a dry, fluid. So therefore, we have to make arrangements for sending air along with a certain quantity of, lubricating oil. So we have to make arrangements for mixing, both these fluids. So we have to use an element that is called as a lubricator. So friends, a filter for regulating, for removing impurities, or for filtering impurities before sending to the cylinder, and a regulator for regulating the pressure of the fluid that is entering the cylinder, and finally lubricator for lubricating the piston that is moving inside the cylinder. A lubricator meant for sending lubricating oil along with high pressure air into the cylinder. So friends, these are the necessities of using these items. Filter for removing impurities, regulator for regulating the pressure of the fluid, lubricator for providing lubrication for the piston that is moving inside the air cylinder. So friends, these elements to be arranged in this particular sequence: filter followed by regulator followed by lubricator. So therefore, it is generally made as a single unit. So it is called as FRL, unit. So friends, this unit is very, very, essential for, operating the circuit. So it is consisting of 3 different items made as a single unit. So therefore, it is referred to as FRL unit. And finally, we can see a valve placed in this position. So this is used for controlling the direction of air that is entering the cylinder, and also for controlling the direction of fluid that is leaving the cylinder. So totally it is used for controlling the direction of fluid which is entering the cylinder, and also for controlling the direction of fluid which is leaving the cylinder. So that's why it is called as a direction control valve. It can be called as a DC valve. So it is used for controlling the direction of fluid. So simply it is referred to as a direction control valve. Now, friends, this valve will be having four, ports, four passages. So therefore, it is called as a four-way DC valve. Now, this is called as an inlet port of the DC valve, and here we have first outlet port of the DC valve, and this is the second outlet of the DC valve, and this is called as exhaust port of the DC valve. So friends, it is having one inlet, two outlets, and one exhaust, 1 plus 2 plus 1. So total it is having four ports. So therefore it is referred to as a four-way DC valve. So friends, four-way DC valves are very, very essential for operating double-acting cylinders. So this is the arrangement of a double-acting cylinder. So consisting of two ports, port 1 and port 2, made on both the sides of the piston. That means we have to supply the fluid on both the sides of the piston, and also we have to receive fluid from both the sides of the piston. So if we are supplying fluid from one side of the piston, we have to receive the fluid coming out of another side of the piston. And if you are supplying fluid from this side, we have to make arrangements for receiving the fluid from this side of the piston. So therefore, a four-way valve is very, very essential for operating a double-acting cylinder, as shown in the figure. Now, the inlet of the valve is fitted to the pipeline coming from the compressor. First outlet is fitted to the first port of the cylinder, and second outlet is fitted to the second port of the cylinder. And finally, the exhaust port is fitted to the pipeline that is going into the atmosphere. So friends, these are the connections to be made so far as these items are concerned, and we need different pipelines for conveying a fluid from fluid to different places. So inlet pipeline for receiving fluid from the compressor, first outlet to be a pipeline for connecting first outlet and first port of the cylinder, another pipeline for connecting second outlet and second port of the cylinder, and finally one more pipeline for connecting the exhaust port of the DC valve into the atmosphere. So friends, totally, it is having four, ports, one inlet port and one exhaust port and two, outlet ports. So totally it is having, four ports. So therefore it is referred to as a four-way DC valve. Now friends, now this DC valve, it will be having two positions. Now if the valve is placed in the first position, the inlet will be coming in contact with the first outlet, and second outlet will be coming in contact with the exhaust of the DC valve. So therefore, this valve will be sending fluid from this side of the upper side of the piston, and at the same time it will be receiving fluid from the lower side of the piston. So friends, this is used for moving the piston in downward direction. It's called as a forward stroke of the piston. And secondly, after completion of the forward stroke, this automatically this DC valve will be coming to second position. Now, in the second position, the inlet will be in contact with the second outlet of the valve, and first outlet will be coming in contact with the exhaust of the DC valve. So therefore, friends, the fluid coming from the compressor will be flowing in this direction, and the fluid that is present in this region will be coming out in this particular. So ultimately, this is used for moving the piston in upward direction. That is called as return stroke of the piston. So in any case, in any circuit, friends, first position of the DC valve is used for performing forward stroke of the piston, and second position of the valve will be used for performing the return stroke of the piston. So this is point number one. And secondly, in the first position, inlet will be in contact with the first outlet, and the second outlet will be in contact with the exhaust. And on the other hand, in the second position, inlet will be in contact with the second outlet, and first outlet will be in contact with the exhaust of the DC. So therefore, with these connections and with these positions of the DC valve, we will be in a position to operate the piston in forward and backward directions. So as already informed just now, the first position of the DC valve will be used for performing forward stroke of the piston, and second position of the valve will be used for performing the return stroke of the piston. So friends, these are the various components, and this is the general arrangement of a pneumatic circuit. So friends, basically compressor is used for operating the cylinder, and the cylinder is ultimately used for operating the tool or a spindle of a machine, or for moving loads as shown in the figure, for moving loads in forward and backward directions. So therefore, compressor and cylinder put together, they are called as primary components of the pneumatic circuit. And all other items we have discussed so far, they are referred to as secondary components of the circuit. So we talked about filter, first air filter, second air filter, pressure regulator, air lubricator, DC valve, and air cooler, storage reservoir. All these items put together are referred to as secondary components of the circuit. Compressor and cylinder put together, they are referred to as primary components of the circuit. So friends, basically this electric motor is used for operating the compressor, used for controlling the air compressor. The air compressor is ultimately used for controlling the air cylinder. And finally, the air cylinder is obviously, finally, ultimately, this air cylinder is used for controlling a tool or a spindle of a machine. So friends, these are the components of a pneumatic circuit. These are the basic elements, very, very essential for operating a pneumatic circuit. The compressor and cylinder called as primary components. All other items are referred to as secondary components. So now friends, we will make a quick review of the items which we have discussed so far. So friends, in the beginning, we have talked about fluid power systems classified into three categories. So working substance is very, very essential for operating a system. So if oil is used, it is called as a hydraulic system. And we are using compressed air, it's referred to as a pneumatic system. And sometimes both the fluids are used for operating a system. It is referred to as, hydro pneumatic system. So friends, in the case of hydro pneumatic system, air will be used for operating the element of DC valve, and generally oil will be used for operating the element of the cylinder. So working substance is very, very essential as a whole. Working substance is very, very essential for operating a circuit. So you are using oil, it is called as hydraulic circuit. You are using compressed air, it's called as pneumatic circuit. You are using both the fluids, it's called as hydro pneumatic circuit. Now friends, these hydraulic circuits are suitable for slow and steady operations. Pneumatic circuits for fast and suitable for fast and unsteady, operations. And of course, finally, hydro pneumatic systems, on one hand, they are suitable for fast operations. At the same time, are also suitable for, steady operations. So these are the, salient features of different circuits. So friends, we have talked about the arrangement of air cylinder. So different names are given to this particular item. It can be called as air motor, air actuator, air cylinder, pneumatic cylinder, pneumatic motor, pneumatic actuator. So all these words convey the same meaning. We should not get confused in between these words. So different words are used in different situations, in different textbooks or something like that. So basically, we have to remember that all these words convey the same meaning. So generally, they are referred to as air cylinders. So friends, these cylinders, this air cylinder can be used for operating a tool of a machine or a spindle of a machine. By providing a connecting rod mechanism, we can rotate the spindle of the machine, and otherwise it can be used for operating the tool of the machine, and are used for lifting operations as shown in the figure, also for press working operations, and so on and so forth. And similarly, it will be converting pressure energy of air into mechanical energy of the piston. So piston will be moving in to and fro directions. So piston is fitted to the piston rod, and this piston rod can be fitted to a tool for moving in to and fro directions, or by means of connecting rod mechanism, it can be fitted to a spindle. So for rotating the spindle, this connecting rod will be converting reciprocating motion of the piston into rotary motion of the spindle. So this way, these air cylinders can be used for operating tools in to and fro directions, also for rotating spindles either in clockwise or in anti-clockwise directions. So friends, we have two types of cylinders, single acting cylinders and double acting cylinders. One port is sufficient for single acting cylinder, and two ports are required for double acting cylinder. So we have seen the arrangement of double acting cylinder in the pneumatic circuit. And additionally, we have rotary cylinders also used in special situations. Now these cylinders can be arranged either in horizontal or vertical position. So as per the requirements, as per the necessities and requirements. So second, this is the another second important item. This is called as air compressor. So driven by an electric motor for generating high pressure air. So very essential, high pressure air, very essential for operating the circuit. So friends, motor will be converting, as I've already told you, the motor will be converting electrical energy into mechanical energy in the shaft, and finally compressor will be converting mechanical energy of the shaft into pressure energy of air. So this is called as a motor compressor assembly. So friends, we have already talked about the arrangement, about the DC valve and arrangements. So these four-way valves are very essential for double acting cylinders, and three-way valves very essential for single acting cylinder. So as discussed in the figure, so this four-way valve consisting of one inlet, two outlets, and one exhaust port. So totally it is having four ports. So therefore it is called as a four-way DC valve. So it will be controlling the direction of air that is entering and leaving the cylinder. So therefore it will be supplying air from one side of the cylinder, and at the same time it will be receiving air that is coming out from the other side of the cylinder. So therefore friends, it is called as a direction control valve. And here we can see the connections. Inlet port is connected to the pipeline coming from the lubricator. First outlet is connected to the first port of the cylinder, and second outlet connected to the second port of the cylinder. And exhaust is connected to the pipeline that is entering into the atmosphere. So friends, these are the connections to be made so far as DC valve is concerned. So friends, we have talked about storage reservoir. So as the name itself implies, it will be receiving high pressure air that is coming out of the compressor. So this high pressure air is stored in this reservoir. Ultimately, it is used for operating the piston that is arranged inside the cylinder. So this reservoir is provided with inlet valve, outlet valve, and drain valves also. So inlet valve for receiving air coming from the compressor, and outlet valve for delivering air into the circuit or into the system, and drain valve for removing, for draining impurities accumulated in the reservoir. So friends, this is the arrangement of this reservoir called as storage reservoir. Also sometimes basically it is referred to as air reservoir. And friends, we have talked about the necessity of filters. So one filter is placed before the compressor for cleaning air that is entering the compressor. Another filter is placed after the compressor for filtering air that is entering the cylinder. So this is placed after the storage reservoir for sending clean fluid into the cylinder, and this is placed before the first filter. This is the first filter placed before the compressor for cleaning the air that is entering the air compressor. So friends, ultimately these filters are very, very essential for protecting the parts of the compressor and air cylinder. First filter for protecting the compressor, and second filter for protecting the air cylinder. And we have talked about this pressure regulator. So as the name itself implies, it is meant for regulating the pressure of air which is entering the cylinder. So it is having three ports. Inlet port is connected to the filter. The outlet port is connected to the lubricator. So it is placed in between the filter and the lubricator. So friends, inlet must be connected to the second filter and outlet must be connected to the lubricator, and exhaust will be connected to the atmosphere. Now, under normal conditions, inlet will be in contact with outlet and exhaust will be in closed position. And then under abnormal conditions, inlet will come in contact with the exhaust and outlet will be coming to closed position. So friends, under normal conditions, because of these connections, under normal conditions, fluid will be entering the circuit, and under abnormal conditions, automatically the fluid will be discharged into the atmosphere. So friends, all these elements will be placed inside the regulator. These elements will be operating automatically under normal conditions. These two ports will be in contact with each other, and under abnormal conditions, these ports will be in contact with each other. So this position is used for sending normal fluid into the cylinder, and this position very, very essential for sending abnormal fluid into the atmosphere. So friends, all the operations will be taking place automatically so far as the circuit is concerned. So friends, this is the purpose of the lubricator for mixing air. It will be mixing air and lubricant in required proportions before supplying into the cylinder. So it's very, very essential. Lubrication is very, very essential for protecting the parts of the cylinder. So inlet is connected to the regulator and outlet is connected to the DC valve. Therefore, it will be receiving air from the regulator, and it will be mixing air and oil in required proportions. And finally, it will be sending the mixture into the DC valve. So friends, this, as I've already told you, these elements are placed in this particular sequence: filter followed by regulator followed by lubricator. So it is referred to as a FRL circuit. Now friends, in the case of hydraulic circuits, we will be using oil is used for operating a hydraulic circuit. So this oil will be acting on one hand, it will be acting as a working fluid, and on the other hand, it will be also acting as a lubricating oil or a lubricant. So therefore, lubricator is not at all essential for operating a hydraulic circuit, but that is very, very essential for operating this pneumatic circuit. So friends, we can see the arrangement of pipelines, the very, very essential for conveying fluids from one place to another place. Suction pipelines, delivery pipelines, exhaust pipelines, and system pipelines. And we have seen the arrangement of all these pipelines in the pneumatic circuit. So friends, we are coming to the last slide. So here I have mentioned the salient features of pneumatic systems. So they are suitable for performing fast operations. The density of air is very, very less when compared to density of oil. So it will be moving at a faster rate. So therefore it is suitable for performing fast operations. but the operation may not be, I mean, steady or something like that. So therefore, they are, I mean, suitable only for fast and unsteady operations, suitable for light duty, I mean, operations. So this air is available in the atmosphere, free of cost. Air is available in the atmosphere. So therefore, running cost will be very low when compared to, I mean, other circuits. And air, that is the fluid that is coming out of the system, is directly discharged into the atmosphere. So therefore, they are referred to as, open circuits. So friends, these are the, I mean, salient features of pneumatic circuits. So we have talked about piping systems, air lubricators, pressure regulators, air filters, storage reservoirs, DC valves, compressors, air cylinders. So these are the, I mean, components which are very, very essential for operating a pneumatic circuit. So all these items put together, it is referred to as a pneumatic circuit. So, I mean, friends, we are closing this session. So thank you all for joining this session. Thank you so much.